My name is Robin Dyer. I'm head here at Ampleforth College. The history of this college goes way back and it has a fantastic reputation. We as a community should be the best that we can be. The Compass for Life that Ampleforth has, it's a code really for saying we are trying to develop an educational system here which enables the students to flourish in the world beyond Ampleforth. That is our purpose. That's our mission. If we're not preparing them for life beyond this wonderful place, then we're not doing our job. But we have fantastic input from the monks and from the Abbey, and the Benedictine values are core values, and they underpin everything that we do.
I think the core values are very much integrated into the school, and I think the key one for me has been integrity, and I think that it's been really important. It's something that Ampleforth does really well, is bringing out individuals' characters and bringing out individuals' passions and making sure that people can find something that they are really good at and that makes their time at Ampleforth really special.
I think the Benedictine values are pretty key to our education here. I think the main one that strikes me is the second chance, and I think that everyone at our age always do make mistakes, and I think you should be forgiven.
Whatever your passion is, Ampleforth really helps develop and grow it to its fullest potential. As soon as we get here in first year, we start with a dorm of 8 or 9, and I think that immediately builds bonds between each other, because obviously you're with each other 24 hours of the day, and those bonds stick throughout Ampleforth, and really strong friendships develop throughout your time. By the end of it, you've got lifelong friends.
The atmosphere in the house is really good because they always have people to talk to, and if you're ever down or sad, then there's always people that you can talk to, like the house mistresses. I feel like I've got another family.
You have so much to do here that it kind of just becomes a little world instead of a school. We are part of one big family. I think we do build a sense of community as our main priority at Ampleforth, and it's just a homely atmosphere. It's just very pleasant.
Obviously we have the Abbey, Ampleforth Abbey here, and that is a massive part. It's such a special thing when you're in the Abbey and you see 600 students in there singing. So I'd say community we have a very strong sense of community here, and we're always looking out for each other, and we accept one another for who we are.
Before I came here, I was utterly terrified to talk to anybody who was bigger than me. It's really helped develop my confidence, and now I feel comfortable wherever I am, and I really feel like I belong here, I guess. I come to school at 8 o'clock and I leave school at 8:30. I really do feel included though. I'm not missing out on anything. Day students aren't separated from the boarders. We're all one big group and we really enjoy it. What Ampleforth means to me is just being with people that I really like and just having fun, I guess, but also learning as well. It's learning new things and experiencing new things.
Ampleforth is a place full of opportunities that really help us as students to thrive and be happy every day. Whatever your passion is, Ampleforth really helps develop and grow it to its fullest potential. And my family has quite a lot of history here, so my dad used to be in the old Bolton house, my mum's 3 brothers were actually here in St John's, and my parents also got married in the Abbey. So we have quite a lot of family history here.
I think the favourite time of the week at school is Abbey Mass on Sunday. To be able to perform in that every week is not just helping yourself, it's friendship. It does help you become a better person, I feel, a more all-rounded person, a more genuine person, and someone that generally people can actually like and get along with in the professional world, which is what you want to be.
So we have house chaplains for each house. So our house chaplain, for example, is a monk called Father Kevin, who is he's Irish and he's absolutely amazing. And it's just really nice to get to know them and get to know the monks especially as people.
It's not just about the education. You learn how to meet new people, you learn a lot more beyond education. I feel like I am developing so much more than when I first came, because I had really bad stage fright and I couldn't act, at all. But then I decided to do drama for GCSEs, and I'm so much more confident in what I do and speaking in front of people. Pipe band's really shaped me as a person. It's just something that I can do outside of school. Here it's quite nice to just get everyone involved in that kind of thing.
Being at Ampleforth means many things. It allows you to succeed in anything you want to. There's a very positive atmosphere around here that if you don't succeed, then try again. The support around here is phenomenal. You're not expected to be that independent guy when you're in first year. This is the point of Ampleforth. You're made into that independent person, which I feel like you are by the time you get to our stage at sixth form, which is nice. They do it exactly right.
When I come here, it's almost like my second home. I'm coming to live with my friends and obviously learn new things and do things I love. It's a part of me, especially as I've been here for more than 12 years now.
Ampleforth stands out in the sense that it is almost unique in terms of its structure, with the abbey, church, the monastery and this great school all part of one community. Quite extraordinary in the most beautiful North Yorkshire countryside.
When I came to Ampleforth, it was so magical. When I first saw it, it was just so amazing to me. It just felt massive and interesting, and it was just a whole new world. It just feels amazing, I guess, because most other schools, you don't get such an amazing place as this. But when I'm here, I just feel like I was walking down here literally about 20 minutes ago, and I just thought this is such an amazing place to be.
I actually looked at multiple schools down south, and none of them really felt right to me. I go on a lot on gut feeling and intrinsic feeling, and none of them really felt right to me. So we came up to Ampleforth to have a look, and so when I first visited the site, I just really liked it instantly. I had this intrinsic feeling of, yeah, this is really, I feel right here. This is where I really want to be for the next 4 or 5 years of my life, studying and developing as a person. So yeah, I would say it was more the intrinsic feeling of this feels right.
I was booked onto another school, but I came round it kind of by chance, and I really just fell in love with it because I just loved kind of the amount of outside space there was, the amount of chance that there was to do so many activities. All of the lessons and the teachers just seemed really passionate about what they were teaching. And so I kind of just completely fell in love with it when I came.
It's amazing to think that since 1802 the school was standing, and it's amazing to be a part of something that's been established for this long, for this amount of time. It's incredible to think that I will be up on those boards, for generations to come, for generations to see. And it's amazing looking at the boards and thinking, wow, this school has been around for ages. This school has so much history, and it is amazing to be a part of.
I feel really lucky to be here. It's such a nice environment. It's really nice to be able to say that I'm at Ampleforth and not anywhere else. It's more of a family here than other schools. I feel like I'll come back and visit Ampleforth when I leave because it's been a part of my life for 12 years now. I feel really lucky because it's just so many opportunities that we can do, and obviously the support in the lessons is really good, and I feel like I've learnt so much.
I've definitely changed a lot since I was in first year. So I think if you'd met me in first year, I had no confidence. I kind of slink into the back of a room, kind of hope to pass by as unnoticed as I could possibly be. So I think there's been a huge change from them. They really take a focus on leadership and developing your skills and being able to get up in front of people. And no matter what you're saying, just being able to talk about the things that you're meant to be learning. And I think that's definitely, for me, had a huge shift and helped me a lot with my confidence.
The students will make memories and friendships that will last a lifetime. That is the way the school operates and will continue to operate under my leadership. The whole business of education should be about actually enjoyment and fun. I know there'll be times when they'll be tested and it'll be difficult, but the idea that this is a fun environment for students to make friends and then to develop is absolutely number one. Without that, it won't work.
Ampleforth has been my home for 5 years. It's been a family to me, and I've become someone who I actually really like being. And it's something that's been encouraged hugely at Ampleforth, is to be an individual, to be your own person, to be able to find something that you love and to be able to work on it. And I think that that is something that I have really loved from my time here.
What Ampleforth means to me is all about the lifelong friends and shaping everyone's personalities and trying new things. So that would include sports and being with your friends the whole time.
When I think of Ampleforth, I don't think classroom lessons. What I think of is having fun with all my friends and just having a laugh.
I would just say you'd be missing out if you didn't come. I think you'd lose a dimension of education if you didn't come. The teachers are very supportive and welcoming, and they will always have your back.
What Ampleforth means to me is becoming a balanced individual. And one of the Benedictine core values is equilibrium. And I would say that Ampleforth does a fantastic job of actually giving us an equilibrium in our school lives, such as, academics, we're working hard, but then we also are allowed to balance it with sport. Most afternoons, on the weekends with matches, social life, windmill for the sixth form on the weekends, and socials for the juniors. And I think it's just a really good balance that helps us become a broadened individual when we leave.
The first week I was so scared to even look at people, but it's really, really helped develop my confidence. And now I feel comfortable wherever I am, and I don't feel awkward or strange around the bigger upper sixth or middle sixth. I really feel like I belong here, I guess.
I think it is a way of life. I think for me, this place has been incredible. We are Amplefordians, and that is very much who we are, and that is something we're all very proud to be.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Robin Dyer. I'm the head here at Ampleforth, and it's my great pleasure to welcome so many of you from all over the UK and other parts of the world to our e-open morning. Now, we've been in touch with you to find out what you would like to hear about this morning, and I've asked some students and staff to help provide this information as we go along. We have 1 hour, and we'll try not to run over. Quite a few of you are looking at Year 7 entry, and Dr. Moses, head of Year 7 and 8, and 2 Year 8 pupils will join us at 10:50 a.m. Please do ask questions as we go along through the chat function. It's at the top right corner of your screen, looks a little bit like a speech bubble. We will try to address these as we talk, but we'll answer in greater detail when we speak with you on the phone after the live event. Many of you have taken up our pre-arranged appointments, and for those who haven't, a senior member of staff will be ringing you today or early next week. Now, for all you children watching, looking at people talking on a screen is not nearly as interesting as coming to meet us in this beautiful place. So I hope you've managed to watch the video that was playing about school life before I appeared. If not, please have a look at our website, where you can find it under the e-open morning tab. You'll also find videos there which give you a tour of some of the boys' and girls' houses. What you can't see over these screens is that Ampleforth is one of the most beautiful schools in the world, set in a gorgeous North Yorkshire valley with stunning views and historic buildings. Our location is a huge asset, and there can be few better places for young people to grow up and experience the joys of the countryside and all that it has to offer. It is teenage heaven here, with a vast amount of protected, open space to run free, a huge range of activities, and of course, lots of friends to share the experience and make it really fun. Our students absolutely love being here, and whilst we're all stuck in lockdown, they're telling us how much they miss not just the atmosphere and social life of school, but this whole gorgeous place. It feels like a real home to them, and this never changes, even long after they have left the school. Old Amplefordians love to come back and visit the community and this special valley. I mention the importance of connection to place because we are unashamedly a full boarding school with a busy school life and activities going on 7 days a week. Apart from exeats, our students do not go home at weekends. We have day students, about 18% overall, but they are fully immersed in school life and are usually here 7 days a week. This full boarding allows students to completely immerse themselves in our community and everything the school has to offer. It allows the time and space to provide for our students a true compass for life. What do we mean by compass for life? At its core is Catholic education and Benedictine values, developed successfully in education all over Europe for centuries, and by Ampleforth for over 200 years. The essence is, whether you are a Catholic or, like me, not, we recognise that every person is of equal value and has unique talents. It is our duty to draw out those talents so that everyone becomes the very best version of themselves. Through this, the whole community thrives and prospers. And our community here is very strong and extremely welcoming. When I first arrived last summer, I was bowled over by the friendliness and warmth of the students and staff. In 34 years of teaching and 18 years of leadership in a boarding school in the south of England and here, I can honestly say that I've not encountered anything like it. It is very special indeed, and a huge strength of this place. My agenda as head is to make our compass for life even more compelling and relevant for today's world. We teach well. Our results are impressive. Our students sing and perform music beautifully, act superbly, play sport to a high level. But all these things are not enough. We have a higher mission, which is to ensure that Amplefordians emerge from here, go on to university and the world of work, and are properly ready for these challenges. It is a national disgrace that so many businesses find that students arrive with fantastic degrees, but often without the skills, the attitude, or the values that companies are looking for. At Ampleforth, we are developing much greater independent thinking, learning, and coping for our students in all aspects of school life. In every classroom, every conversation, in games practices, theatre rehearsals, our students will be drawn out of themselves by good questioning and constantly being encouraged to volunteer their opinions and ideas. These are critical life skills which will enable Amplefordians to thrive in the free-range environment of university or the pressure-filled job interview, or when making a crucial pitch to new clients at work. They will show themselves to be flexible, resilient, problem-solving, compelling communicators who employers want to hire and others want to work with. They will also be the grounded, caring and thoughtful people that Amplefordians always have been, who make the right decisions in life and know how to have a lot of fun. So my agenda fits perfectly with this compass for life. We are fully preparing our students for the challenges they will face in the world beyond our beautiful valley. These are exciting times to be in Ampleforth. For those of you wondering how currently this can be the case, with the world in lockdown and our students all at home, I'd like to pay tribute to our amazing staff who have created the most fantastic programme of online learning. We are determined that even though we are distanced, we are not apart, so the one-to-one engagement with students is a priority, as it is when we are in normal times. Our students are fully engaged, following their normal school timetables and everything this entails, including lessons, assemblies, one-to-one tutorials, an enormous range of co-curricular activities, service and voluntary work, sport, music, chaplaincy, and of course, social life. The feedback has been excellent, not just from our own students and parents, but from many other schools too. Our online learning, Ampleforth we call it, is outstanding. If you're interested in learning more about Ampleforth, please do contact admissions. Coronavirus and government policy permitting, we are committed to a full return to school in September and are making plans to ensure that our students and staff will be safe and will have every confidence in our arrangements. In the meantime, let's get on with our open morning, and I would like first to briefly introduce our Dean, Father Ambrose, who's going to say a few words about the ethos of the school. Father Ambrose.
Yes, morning Robin, morning everyone, thank you very much. As Robin says, my name is Father Ambrose, I'm the Dean of the college, which means I've got a special care for it as a Benedictine community, and it's great to be able to say a couple of things today. Absolutely delighted so many are with us, and perhaps I can begin actually by speaking more personally to any boys and girls who are watching and listening. This is really for you. Of course we're talking to parents, but the kind of education that we offer here is really centred on you and your flourishing and your happiness. We've got some pretty fantastic students waiting on the line to answer questions today, and they're much more interesting than I am. But notice, first of all, what an impression they make on visitors, how easily they engage and relate to people. There's something about Amplefordians that's really recognisable, as Robin was saying. Our students leave comfortable in their own skin, fully alive, and who engage generously, knowing their gifts are for the good of others. But where does all of that come from? Well, we keep life, the unique life of each individual who comes here, irrespective of background, faith, whatever it is, in dialogue with our tradition. That's our invitation. It's an open one, and it promises a great deal if you want it. Why else would you drive past a lot of other good schools on the way up to Ampleforth? First of all, it's about who you are and then what you do. And that's what lies behind our well-known pastoral care. And that recognition and drawing out of potential can only happen in the context of the highest quality relationships, where people really matter to each other all the time, sacred space. And that's what we're about, a family life, And coming together in our community, in our faith, in our scholarship, as a family, that's the experience, if you like, of community life in our tradition. So I suppose what I'm saying is a spiritual education is this. It acknowledges, first of all, that there is a unique person of inestimable value standing in front of you, whatever you may think. And it's your job, our job, to recognize who that person really is, what is best and most true about them, however much they want to hide it, and to start to draw that out. So our education, therefore, is first of all an experience, something lived and wrestled with. It's not a set of values as nice ideas on paper or some clever thinking. It's about this person, this community, this situation, deep roots that'll set you up for life. All right, I think that's definitely enough from me by way of an introduction. You've got the real deal available to you today, so please enjoy it. And thanks again, Robin, for this chance to say hello. And I'm sure this is going to be a very interesting and attractive hour.
Well, thank you, Father Ambrose, for everything you do and what you've said and your leadership. It's greatly appreciated. I know that some people are struggling to connect with us. The team will try to help you if you just let us know your problems on the chat function. And we've had a number of questions about life at school and about boarding. Before I ask one of our students about this, it's worth reiterating that we are a full boarding school. Lessons and sports fixtures run from Monday to Saturday with a busy programme of activities over the weekends. We have 9 houses overall, with 5 boys' houses from September, 3 girls' houses, and 1 house for our years 7 and 8. 82% of our students are boarders, and day students are fully integrated in all aspects of school and house life. They can often be found here on Sundays too. Our students come from all over the UK. Almost 30% are from overseas, the majority from Europe, but also from South America, Africa and Asia. We've had girls at Ampleforth for over 18 years now, and they make up around 40% of the school, although we're expecting this to grow to 50% over the next few years. Obviously, our students aren't here at the moment, and we sadly can't take you round the houses in reality. But as I said before, you can see some videos showing you round the houses on our website. Well, let's find out more about life at the school, and we'll start with Sophie, who's in year 10. Sophie, what's a typical day for you at Ampleforth?
Thank you, sir. A typical day for me at Ampleforth, I would wake up any time before 8, I think, because we have to go to breakfast before check-in and be ready, which is, check-in is different for every house. And at my house at Ames, we have it at 8:15 and we have to be ready and dressed by then because we go to lessons pretty much straight afterwards. But before check-in, we can do, it's very flexible. We can go to breakfast pretty much any time we want, and we can go to the gym, or we can go swimming before breakfast or after if we wanted to, and we can also go with our friends, which is really great. And then between lessons, when we go for break time, we go back to our house and we can eat toast and we can talk with our friends and we can get our books, which I think is really great because it's a really nice atmosphere and it's really nice to have a break from school as well. After that, after lessons, we can have a free period between kind of 5 and 6:30. In which we can have supper and we can go to our activities and we can socialise and talk with our friends, which is really fun and it's really relaxing and it's great to have some free time as well. And then after that, from 6:30 to 8:30, we'll have prep session. And I think it's really great that we have a set prep time because otherwise I don't think I'd get a whole lot done. And it's really good to have just some time to sit down and revise, and it also kind of calms us down more before the end of the day. And after prep, pretty much we have prayers and we have a check-in in the evening. We do have quite a lot of prayers during the day. We have them each morning at check-in and we have them each evening, as well as before lunchtime and at mass as well when we have house mass too. And that really calms us down for the day and it really relaxes us. And then we can get ready for bed and we can talk with our friends and we can go to bed, and it's really great.
I mean, you've touched on it there, Sophie, but could you just tell us what house life is like for you?
House life for me is like a second family. I mean, all my friends are really great. They're always going to be there for me. And it's really good to have someone to kind of relax with and to have fun with, as well as having someone to kind of understand you and kind of they're going with all the lessons and they've got all the same life as you with school. And so you can revise with them and you can kind of help understand the topics more with them. If you don't understand it during prep, for example, you can go to their room and you can do it together. And then also the house parents and the matrons are really, really good as well. They'll always be there for you if you need something, and they're always really willing to help you.
Do you ever run out of toast, Sophie?
We've always got loads and loads of bread. The freezer is stacked full of bread as well.
Okay. And what about weekends, very briefly? Could you just talk through your life on weekends?
On a weekend, on a Saturday morning, we'd have lessons, obviously. And then in the early afternoon, we'd usually have a match, whether that's home or away, in which we can go to other schools and play them, which is really, really fun. And then in the rest of the afternoon, we could have some free time to socialise and talk with our friends, and we could watch a movie in the common room, and we can you can also go to the gym, or you could go down to the pitches again and play some more sports. And then in the evening on Saturdays, we usually have socials. So we might go to another house, or another house would go to us, and we can have food and music, and we can talk with our friends in the other houses, which is really, really fun. And then on a Sunday morning, well, I'm in Scholar, so I woke up a little bit earlier than everyone else on a Sunday morning, and we have a practice before Mass, and then we can sing in Mass really well. And then after Mass on a Sunday, there's sometimes an activity also where we might go to York and do some shopping with our friends, or we might go to Energy and do the trampoline parks and the climbing walls, which is always really, really fun. But you can also just choose to stay at school and kind of have a day off from all the work. And you can also go to the village shop, which is really great because you don't need to bring huge amounts of tuck at the beginning of term. You can always fill up. And then on Sunday evening, we do have prep as well, because we have Monday the next day, which is more lessons.
Okay, Sophie, thank you very much for all of that.
Thank you, sir.
Stay on the line, because I think a lot of questions are coming in, so we will probably need you later. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, sir.
So we've heard from Sophie there the life of a boarder, and I think it'd be a good idea to talk to Olive in Year 9, who is a day girl. Olive, what was it like settling into college as a day girl?
It was really easy settling in because I had a brother in the year above, so that definitely made it easier and more like home, and didn't change that much for me. But also the girls in the house and my house mistress were so welcoming, and they don't treat me any differently to a normal full boarder. It just feels like a second family, and I want to be there all the time.
I mean, that's interesting you say that, because I find it very difficult to distinguish, who's a boarder, who's a day girl or day boy. Is that the experience for you? I mean, do you feel like an Amplefordian, even though you don't sleep here?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think there's no separation between day girls and day boys or boarders, and I think that everyone's just treated the same, and it's just we're all Amplefordians. It doesn't make a difference, really.
Well, that's great to hear, Olive. Thank you for that. We may come back to you later, so please stay on the line. Thank you very much indeed. And we've got also Felipe in Year 12 with us today. Felipe is from Spain and he lives in Madrid. Felipe, are you there?
I am. I'm here. Good morning.
Yeah, what's it like to be an international student at Ampleforth, Felipe?
I think it's great. It's definitely a really good opportunity because the school makes it very easy for all international students to both get home and come back from home by organising all trains to London and back to school. And they also, when you first arrive at school, there's no like disparity between who's foreign, who's not. The majority of my friends will be English, but I've got French friends, I've got Spanish friends, I've got German friends. So as an international student at Ampleforth, you don't feel any different to anyone else.
Well, that's great, and I guess that your house, when you get here from Madrid, is that your second home? Is that how it works?
It is. It definitely is kind of like a second home. I mean, I'm in St Dunstan's house, and I do feel like when I come back, I don't feel like I've just left my home and now I'm going back to school. I kind of feel like, well, I've left my home, but I'm going back to my other home. So it's definitely very nice, and all the house team make sure that you do feel like you're at home and like it is a house, and it definitely is the definition of that word. It's there and it's very special.
I mean, you mentioned the house team there, Felipe. What about the housemaster? How important is that person in your life?
I think for me personally, my housemaster is crucial. Most teachers will give you instructions, whereas I think your housemaster will give you advice, and that's something which all you can do is kind of be grateful for. And he's my housemaster, Mr. Thurman. He's definitely a huge figure in my life, and I think as a house, all the boys kind of do try and make him proud. So you do feel like it is a second father. It's a very special relationship.
Well, that sounds absolutely great, Felipe. Thank you very much indeed for all of that. And we'll come back to you later on, I suspect. Now, we've had some questions about the academic life of the college, and the best person to tell you about this is Dr. Hannah Pomeroy, our outstanding deputy head. Hannah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dyer. Good morning, everybody. In the early years of the curriculum, we aim to embed expectations of our unique and very special school, providing a platform on which to achieve excellence at GCSE and in the sixth form. Each learner is appropriately challenged. We understand the importance of numeracy, literacy and oracy skills, and these are placed firmly at the heart of our curriculum. At GCSE, students have 18 different subjects to choose from, and this increases to 22 at A-level, with 3 BTEC qualifications also on offer. As Mr. Dyer said, our examination results are consistently good, and if a student is capable of a grade 9 at GCSE or an A star at A-level, then they will have every opportunity to achieve it. Last year, 65% of our students went to Russell Group universities, 72% went to Sutton Trust universities. These are the 2 main groups of top universities in the UK. Several students also went to European universities, and we are very lucky to have a tailored programme of expert preparation for SATs for entrance to US universities, another popular destination for our students. 8 of our old Amplefordians are currently studying at Cambridge, and we have another 3 hoping to join them in October. We provide an enormous wealth of opportunities for students to develop their talents and interests, their skills and their aptitudes, both inside and outside of the classroom. Our programme of academic enrichment includes academically focused trips and visits to universities, lectures, plays and workshops outside of school, engagement in external competitions, and by inviting in a wide range of speakers. As Father Ambrose has said, what lies at the heart of an Ampleforth education is seeking to truly know and love each child, to help them to truly flourish. The Learning Hub, new for September, will further enhance support for learning for students with additional needs. Specialist staff provide tailored one-to-one and small group guidance, as well as drop-in support opportunities. Expertise in enabling students to have success at whatever level they are, combined with a focus on developing students' independence and resilience, ensures that they flourish. Thank you, Mr. Dyer.
Well, thank you, Hannah, and everything that you do is so important to us, and that was great. Thank you. Now, we have Clemens in year 12 on the line, and he should be able to tell us a little bit more about academic life at the school. Clemens, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Dyer. Thank you very much. Yeah, as Dr. Pomeroy said, there really is a lot of academic enrichment opportunities. There's a huge range of talks. You'll get regular emails from your teachers that will inform you about those talks, from philosophy to engineering to whatever interests you. There's competitions you can take part in. I've taken part in several maths and chemistry Olympiads. There's group competitions which you will be selected for by your teachers. There's master classes as well. I went down to Cambridge for a mathematics masterclass, and they make it really easy for you because the travel department, which Felipe talked earlier about, they make it really easy. You just have to say, oh, I want to go there. They organize everything, and you're there, and it's really amazing. But there's also trips outside of the UK. There was an ancient history trip to Greece, or a German trip to Germany. So it's really amazing.
And of course, when you went on that trip to Germany, you were actually going home, weren't you?
Yes, I'm in Germany right now.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us, Clemens. And I just want to say something else, actually, if you don't mind. Congratulations on being made head boy next year.
Thank you very much.
No, well, thank you. Briefly, can you tell us what direction you think the student leadership team will be taking the school next year?
Well, as you and Father Ambrose said, our community is really strong, and it's truly amazing. I think it lies at heart of our life at Ampleforth, and I want to do everything with our student leadership team to make everyone feel welcomed and at home at school, and to ensure that all our students are able to grow and flourish in our community.
Well, thank you for that, and good luck with it all when you get to it. Please stay on the line, Clemens, because there may be other things that we'll need you to pick up on. Okay, well, we've had lots of questions about sport. Sport is a really important part of life at Ampleforth. We're lucky to have many talented students and teachers too, as well as first-class facilities. Our pitches and courts stretch out right across the valley, and we have our own sports centre with swimming pool, squash courts, fitness suite, etc. I think it'd be good to get Felipe back, actually, because he is a keen rugby player and gets involved in lots of different types of things on the sporting sphere. So, Felipe, can you tell us about your sporting life at Ampleforth?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Dyer. So, as you said, I am quite a keen rugby player. I'm currently in the first team at Ampleforth, and it is quite high intensity. We'll have a training session on a Monday. We'll then have a morning lift on a Tuesday in the Strength and Conditioning Centre. We'll then have another training session on a Wednesday. Then we'll have a team run on a Thursday where we'll just run through our set piece, and then we'll have that match on Saturday. And then on Monday we just start again. So it is quite full on. It is a high level of rugby, but it's centred around your enjoyment. That's what schoolboy rugby is all about. We make sure we enjoy it, but we're also playing it at a very high level. And actually this season we made it to the National Bowl final. Obviously, we weren't able to play the final due to the COVID pandemic, but it shows you that we are playing at a high level, and yet we're still all very much enjoying it.
Well, that's great to hear, Felipe. Just hearing you talk, though, made me perhaps wonder a little bit whether we're kind of an elitist sporting school. Is that the truth?
So we're not an elitist sporting school at all, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, I'm in the first team, but I think the majority of my friends, quite a few of them are non-team rugby. So they don't actually, they play rugby, but they're not good enough to be any team at all. And yet that doesn't change the way that they're treated or the way that they looked at in any way. And, the sport that you choose to play, because there's such a wide, range of sports that you can play at Ampleforth, it's not going to affect the way that you're treated, the way that you're looked at, and neither is your skill of that sport. So it's, as I said before, it's all about your enjoyment, and whichever team you're in is the team for you. And I'm sure that you will enjoy it,
I'm looking forward to seeing you on the cricket field next summer, Felipe. Is there a chance of that, do you think?
Slim chance of that. I'm not the greatest cricketer.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Let's go back to Olive in year 9. Olive, you're keen on your sport too, aren't you, I think?
Yeah, I am. I play hockey and netball.
Well, tell me about those sports. You know, which of the two is your favourite?
Oh, I'd probably say hockey, but it's a tough decision.
And what's been your most enjoyable moment with your sport, do you think? Can you single out one?
I don't think so. I think my favourite part is just how fun it is playing with my friends. And even if we don't win, we do like to win. But it's just we do everything together, and it really makes us closer as friends as well.
So would you agree with Felipe about that it's more about fun than anything else?
Yeah, I think so. But we do like to play our best, obviously. And if people don't like it, they don't really have to do it. But so mainly the people included are the people that really like it, so it is fun.
That's fine. And what about coaching? I mean, do the coaches, what do they do? What's their role for you?
I think they're really important because they just make so much effort and help you be the best that you can and move forward and offer advice. Even if it's not on the sports pitch, they can offer you advice for anything really.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Olive. Thanks a lot for that. Sounds great. We've had a few questions about music, and there's a broad range of styles and opportunities available. I think we may have the perfect person to talk about this in Amelia, who's in year 12. I know Amelia is a very keen musician, and actually, I should say, has been, because she won't say it, has been made BBC Chorister of the Year. Amelia, can you tell us about your musical life here, please?
Thank you, Mr. Dyer. My musical life at Ampleforth, I would say, firstly, it's really, really exciting. You know, as a person who as music has been a really important part of my life so far, and hopefully will continue to be. I've really seen Ampleforth music as a challenge and something that has really not only broadened my opportunities of music, but also really developed my musicianship, which is a really, really important part of being a musician, and something that you don't really get if you don't have the kind of the support pushing you to push your own boundaries and explore new parts of music, and also develop your kind of thinking around music and what it means for you. So personally, I'm new to sixth form, so I've been at Ampleforth for I started in September, and I think the reason why I chose Ampleforth and I was considering Ampleforth over the numerous different schools that I was kind of thinking about for sixth form. I think personally, firstly, well, as Mr. Dye said, I've had a long history of singing, and it's my first study instrument. So for me, the kind of choral opportunities that Ampleforth provided with the renowned Scholar Choir and the Abbey that really presents this massive opportunity for lots of really good sacred singing. I think that was a really main contributor to me, and again, that opportunity to sing in that choir, as one of the senior members as well, has really brought my singing on and also brought my musicianship on. But I've also found I found the music teaching, the individual lessons, and also, I'm taking A-level music at the moment, and the kind of academic musicology side of things as well. That has really encouraged me to push my boundaries. And I think with all disciplines, but especially music, you can't sit still, so to speak. You have to keep pushing yourself and exploring different parts of music. And for me, that's been really exciting and really invigorating as a musician. But also, I've come from a classical background. That's mainly my sort of area. But the really nice thing about the Ampleforth Music Department is that it offers all sorts of tuition and all sorts of opportunities to push yourself, whatever musical interest you have and whatever genre you're interested in. So, for example, there's a big band, which is a kind of jazz brass band that play in the big school concerts. And I'm not part of it personally, but there's a really, really good pipe band at school, which I've been told is the largest pipe band south of the Scottish border, and they've gone, you know, lots of national tours and international tours, and that as well is such for a musician of any sort of genre, it's such a good department to be in, because you constantly feel like you're on your toes, because you're you know, exploring new things and really pushing your musicianship. So that has been really, really, it's been a really good experience for me as a musician to be part of this department.
That sounds great, Amelia. I mean, did you get involved in Shack Rock?
I did, yeah. Which again, for me, is a coming from a kind of sacred choral background, that because we did so yeah, the Shack Rock consists of loads of kind of student-led bands who perform in front of the rest of the school in a band concert, and that is just, it's so fun to as well to have the kind of student direction. Yeah. So you're really pushing your independence and thinking about the music that you're making, which is really important as well.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Now you mentioned that obviously you're a chorister, and I think you said you play the piano and the violin. Mm. Is there a piano in the room with you there?
There's not a piano in this room, but I do have my violin with me.
Well, I'm sorry to ask you this, Amelia, but do you think you could play a little something for our guest?
Yeah.
Would that be possible?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Thank you. Well, Amelia, thank you very much. Could you just tell us what that was?
That was a gigue by Bach, so one of Bach's violin partitures.
Live from your kitchen. Thank you very much, Amelia. That's tremendous. We may want you to say something later on, so just stay on the line. Thank you so much for that. It's lovely to hear. Some of you are asking about drama, I can see, and there are some questions about our art department too. We have Tiggy in year 10 on the line, and I know Tiggy loves drama and is also a keen artist, so that's lucky. Tiggy, would you like to talk about your interest in those two things, please?
Thank you very much, Mr. Dyer. I think both the art and drama departments are both really amazing. The drama department, we have an exhibition play every year for juniors, so that's year 9 and 10. And this year it was going to be Kes, but we couldn't go ahead with it because of coronavirus, which is quite upsetting, but I'm really looking forward to getting back to school so we can go on with something else. But we also have a musical every 2 years, and the most recent one we did in January, and we did We Will Rock You. And from my point of view, I thought it was such an amazing experience. It was so much fun, and so many people got involved. You can do all sorts of different things, even if you don't want to go on the stage, but you just want to get involved because it's so much fun. You can work backstage, so you can do set design, lighting, or anything like that. And I think it looks really interesting. So the drama department is really amazing. And also the art department, I think it has a really, really nice atmosphere, the actual building itself. And all the rooms have materials in them. There's always teachers around if you ever need any help. So the teachers are really, really helpful in the art department. Like at the beginning of lockdown, they sent us, everybody doing GCSE art, a box of materials so we can carry on with our practical work and all our coursework at home. So they're really, really helpful. And all the rooms are really just, there's lots of people doing their own art, you know, and it's really interesting, and I think it's really beautiful. So.
Well, thank you for that. I mean, great that they sent you the art to do through Ampleforth, I assume. So art has continued even through Ampleforth, has it?
Yeah, yeah.
And what do you think of Ampleforth, Tiggy?
I think Ampleforth is really good. It's much better than I thought it would be. Because we have live lessons, and there's always the teachers are always present. So even if it's not a live lesson, you can always just type something into Shobi or Teams or whatever you're doing it on, and you can ask questions, and you can send pictures of your work, and they'll help you with it. And then also the live lessons are really, really good, because, you know, it's almost like a real lesson. You can ask a question anytime you like, and they explain everything, and it's really good.
Well, that sounds great, Tiggy. That's super. Thank you so much for coming to talk to us this morning. Stay on the line in case there are other questions that we will need you for. Okay, now there have been, well, loads of questions about co-curricular activities. But we have a huge range at Ampleforth. It's a great strength of the school. We have almost 2,500 acres of land with everything from indoor and outdoor shooting ranges, our own school shoot, well-stocked fishing lakes, a Land Rover restoration club. I'm not quite sure about that, but anyway, we have it. Thriving art, drama and music, as you've heard. You heard about the pipe band, which is, I believe, the largest one south of the Scottish border. And I think the Scots are slightly nervous about the quality of what they are producing. And we even have our own dance academy. So all students get involved in a number of activities over the week. And Friday afternoons are dedicated to this for everybody. The school has a particular focus on charity work and on service. Our students are involved in lots of local community projects, and the CCF, the Combined Cadet Force, is also hugely popular. We have an Army and Royal Air Force section. One person who I know particularly enjoys the CCF is John in year 12. John, are you there?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Dyer. Hello, and hello to everyone watching.
Could you talk a little bit about the CCF and other things that you get involved in outside the classroom, John?
Of course. Well, first of all, some of you might be asking, what is the CCF? Well, the CCF stands for Combined Cadet Force, and it is a military activity we do every Friday. The school has a booming CCF section. We have the Army and the RAF. Me personally, I'm in the RAF because I get to go flying several times a year, which is great. I've been on a lot of summer camps. One of them was to Borneo. That was absolutely amazing, and I highly recommend it to anyone who enjoys the CCF. And yes, other than the CCF, I'm also part of the school shoot. Every Saturday during the season, students go out with the help of a couple parents and teachers, and we have a lovely day of shooting. We shoot pheasants, ducks, partridge. Sometimes we get a snipe or two in the bag. It is completely student run, besides the help of two outside parents. But other than that, I'm also in the friendship holidays, which is also great.
I mean, the friendship holiday, there was an extraordinary event last weekend. Could you talk about that?
Yes, of course. The Friendship Holidays is a charity-based organization where we raise money for the school called Oakfields International School, which is a school for mentally and physically disabled people. And last week we climbed the total vertical height of Mount Everest between the students and teachers involved in this activity, hoping to raise money.
And for such a worthwhile cause, absolutely fantastic. It's wonderful the work you're doing with that school. Just going back to the shoot, basically the students run it, is that right? I mean, there's a huge responsibility here. Could you just talk a little bit about that? Because I think it is interesting.
Yes, so as I said, the students do run the shoot. every games option, we take out several bags of feed, and we go to the feeders and we make sure they're full, and we make sure the water is clean and refilled, and we also make sure that the partridge have their partridge pens, which they can access without being eaten by foxes or whatever.
Yeah.
And to be able to shoot in sixth form, you have to have done at least 2 years of beating, which I have done. I've been through that, and I have the joy of being able to shoot next year.
I think we should say the beating is nothing to do with corporal punishment, is it? It's a it's a technique that you use to get the pheasants to fly.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
You beat trees, not people.
Okay. And we cook all the birds that we shoot. That's right, isn't it?
That is completely right. Students and teachers and parents always take a few pheasants. I always take some back to house and cook them, and the ones that are not taken immediately, the next day we cut them and breast them and put them in the freezer, and sometimes even sell them.
That's great. Now, you haven't mentioned that you're quite interested in chess.
Yes, I am actually. We have a booming chess society at school. Every Monday we come and play chess, and there's a lot of people. Actually, we play in the library where you are situated right now, and we have a inter-house chess match going on, which hopefully we're looking to finish online.
Great. Well done. Well, good luck with that. I hope that you do well in the online finish to it all. Thank you very much, John. That was fascinating. I'd also like to just now go back to Sophie in year 10 to find out what things she's doing outside of lessons. Sophie.
Hi, I think the co-curricular activities are a really big part of Ampleforth and each kind of student's life, and they've definitely played a really big role in my kind of time at Ampleforth. Every evening in the slot between lessons and prep, in that free time, we are given the choice to participate in an activity, and they're run every night, and there's something for everyone. There's a really huge range of kind of activities that you can participate in, whether you're in chess club, as mentioned before, or if you're more kind of sporty and you want to practice that more, or you can do shooting in the evenings, and there's really just something for everyone with those activities. Also on Friday, there's an even bigger range of options for you, and they're kind of really big parts of the school, such as FACE4, which stands for Friends Across Central Europe, Friends Across the World, and it's kind of the school charity, and they organise events so that we can raise money for charities across the world, such as Mary's Meals, which give meals to children in Africa who wouldn't receive them otherwise. Or you can have CCF, which was mentioned previously, or this term I'm doing British Sign Language, which I'm really excited to learn more about and to develop so that I can have a conversation one day with someone who is deaf and who does use British Sign Language.
Well, that's absolutely wonderful, Sophie. Thank you very much for telling us about that.
Thank you.
Enjoyable, but really great work that you're doing, and it's fun too, I'm sure. Okay, well, there are quite a few of you watching who are interested in joining us in year 12. We heard from Amelia earlier about her music, but I'd like to ask Amelia you now why you decided to join Ampleforth for the sixth form and how are you finding it?
Thank you, Mr. Dyer. I am, well, firstly, as I've said before, I chose Ampleforth for the music, but also I chose it because I think transitioning into sixth form, especially with the crucial A levels and the added independence that any sort of sixth form brings, I really wanted to choose an environment that I felt like I would be able to thrive and I would be able to fit in easily without kind of wasting my precious sixth form by not being able to fit in. And I think in that respect, I made the absolutely the right decision, because I found it so easy to settle in. I think for two main reasons. Firstly, because the pupils are so welcoming and they're so lovely. I think there was, in my house in particular, there were quite a few new people, and I was speaking at the end of the first week. I think I was speaking to some of them, and we were saying, all of us were saying, really, I mean, we can't believe that we've only been here for a week. We feel like we've been here forever, you know. We feel like we've been friends with all of our new friends that we've only known for a week forever. It's so bizarre. And I think that's just testimony to how welcoming the environment is, you know, the pupils and also, you know, the teachers, they and the kind of pastoral staff as well, they really help you integrate really well, despite the, you know, despite the sheer amount of new people coming into sixth form. You know, you're integrated into it so quickly and so well. You honestly, you don't feel like you're in a new school at all. You feel like you've been there forever. And I think in the first couple of weeks, I found it quite difficult because I'm a sort of person who, you know, wants to do everything, who wants to, you know, I came in, I was like, right, I'm going to do music, I'm going to do sport. I signed myself onto the school play. And I think for me, that was a real learning curve. And that was what Ampleforth in the sixth form did really well, especially my house mistress, because it gives you such a nice, the sixth form gives you such a nice balance between kind of independence that you should have and your own time management, but also kind of the support and safety net that they provide you if you trip up, and they really help you get back on your feet. So, you know, I came in, I was like, I'm going to do all this stuff, I'm going to do it really well. And I think my house mistress, who's been absolutely brilliant, sat me down and said, right, Amelia, you can't do all of this because it's just not possible. And that was, I think, for me, that was the most important lesson, because being much more realistic and managing your time much better, which is a really important skill to have, especially when, you know, we're going into sixth form and the next step, which is really soon, is university. Yeah. So from that respect, I think the Ampleforth sixth form is has been really good for me, actually, because so far, I mean I've only still got a year to go, but because it's taught me so many valuable skills that come with added independence that you will definitely need in kind of university and into your first jobs and just for the rest of life, really. And so for me, that's been really valuable, and I stand firm that I still, you know, I completely picked the right school for my sixth form, because it's been really valuable to me.
Thank you very much, Amelia. It's lovely to hear that, and particularly the sort of pre-university idea. I think that was nicely put. Thank you very much indeed. And I think it'd be worth actually hearing from another Year 12 student, because it is such an important thing, this, isn't it? Students coming in Year 12, and the differences of life in the sixth form. I think I'll go back to Felipe, if he's still on the line in Madrid. Felipe, what do you think about life in the sixth form?
Thank you very much, Mr. Dart. So I'm someone that's been Ampleforth since Year 9, and so I you know, there is that clear step up once you get into the sixth form, in the way that, you know, you do have more independence and you are more accountable for your actions, but you're also rewarded more for what you do. So towards the end of Year 12, they actually select the probationary monitors at the school, and therefore what they're doing is kind of just rewarding those people who have been kind of following those Benedictine core values, who have been giving back to the school, and then the school's giving them a chance to, number one, complete an ILM diploma in leadership and management, which is obviously very useful and something which I wouldn't have been able to do if I hadn't been chosen as a probationary monitor. And it also gives them a chance to then be elected as an actual monitor. So Clemens, for example, he's done very well. He said born next year, and congratulations to him. And there's also, you know, you could be deputy head of school, you could be head of house, deputy head of house, you could be a sports monitor. You know, the school, and that's something which the students also appreciate. You know, they get given those leadership positions. It gives them a chance to give back to the school as well. So it's a dynamic which works very well, and it's something which in the sixth form, you know, there is that added independence, and you do also get rewarded more.
Well, that's great to hear. I'm glad you touched on the leadership side of things, Felipe. That's really important to us, as you've said. Just to finish with Felipe, life in Madrid at the moment, is lockdown ending? How's it going?
It's a lot better now than it was a couple of weeks ago. I mean, I can now see my grandfather, which is obviously the thing I've been wanting to do for the longest time. So that's very nice. Restaurants are starting to open. You do still have to wear a face mask, but I mean, it's you're allowed outside. I went for a bike ride with my father this morning. It's the small things which you take for granted, and I am definitely a lot more grateful for those things now than I was before.
Well, it's lovely to see you today, and we can't wait to see you in September.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, thank you, Felipe, very much indeed. Well, we've got a number of families, a good number of families, I should say, watching who are interested in joining our juniors in years 7 and 8. Dr. David Moses, head of year for 7 and 8, is with us today. Good morning, David. Please, could you tell us about life at Ampleforth for our youngest students?
Good morning, Mr. Dyer. Good morning, everybody who's listening in. Hi, I'm David Moses, head of 7 and 8. And I've been with Ampleforth since 2005 as teacher of English, assistant housemaster, and housemaster of St John's House for nearly 8 years before moving to care for the juniors in 2016. So year 7 and 8 have their own dedicated house before moving on to join year 9 and senior house of their own choosing. I'm the housemaster of year 7 and 8, along with Father John, who's our chaplain. And we have 2 wonderful matrons, a little bit different than other houses. We're very proud of our junior children. They're hardworking, they're kind, they're well-mannered, they're full of joy, and they're a pleasure to be around. And they're spiritually very active, taking great care of one another, and also taking pride in their important roles in leading prayers and mass. They're very, very competitive on the sports field. They take their team sports seriously and they aim for excellence. And they're intellectually curious, and we encourage them to be inquisitive about the world around them, to be outwards looking, especially given the remarkably beautiful setting in which they're having their schooling. They're interested in the arts, and we have some very strong artists, actors, dancers, musicians and vocalists, and they don't just play at things, they devote themselves to excelling, and it's become rather a mantra with them that excellence is not a skill, it's an attitude. They're independent learners. Boarding helps them to develop self-discipline and self-reliance, and day students are fully included. The caring family atmosphere helps them to feel their own self-worth and to reinforce the importance of courtesy and good manners. And we know every one of our children really well. Learning tailored to each child and a wide choice of co-curricular activities allow us to draw out and celebrate their unique talents. We have a really busy programme of activities and trips where we have fun together and we build those friendships. Our mission is to support and care for our children so that they arrive in year 9 fully integrated and prepared to thrive in the senior years. And I want you to meet 2 of them. We're going to meet Finbar and Henrietta, who are both in year 8. And I hope that I'm going to be able to ask Henrietta to tell her about her week and the shape of her week. Are you there, Henrietta? Are you with us?
Yes, hi, sir.
Hello, head girl. What's the shape of your week? What is it like?
So on a normal week, you have an activity after prep each night during the week, and you can choose a whole range of different activities. I've done fencing, I've done cricket, I've done tennis, and so many different things. And on a Tuesday, it's different because lessons finish slightly earlier, so you have a time to do a longer activity. I do shooting in the shooting range at Ampleforth. It's really fun.
That's brilliant, fantastic. I'm going to ask Finbar to tell us about the weekends because they're slightly different, aren't they, Finbar?
Yes, that's right, sir. Weekends at St Martin's Ampleforth, it feels very much like a community, and we have a very structured plan. On a Saturday, we would usually stay in-house for a movie night or bingo, something like that, after a busy day of sports fixtures or something else. And then on a Sunday, we would usually go out into York or find something to do outside of the house. And it's a really good family atmosphere. It's really nice to have that time to wind down after a week of schooling.
That's fantastic. Henrietta, when you were talking then, you managed to mention your activities, and you spoke about all the different things that you do. And I happen to know that you've just got a scholarship into Year 9 and that you do the scholarship activity. Can you tell us about your academic work and about your academic enrichment?
So I'm an academic and art scholar, and for academic, I get a lot more choice in what I do and things, and I have a choice to do a scholarship club, which I find really fun. We go through many various topics, and it really pushes us. And we have things like Da Vinci Club, which I got invited to last year too. And I find that day very enjoyable. It's quite hard, but it really pushes you, which I find really fun.
That's fantastic. Finbar, you're a bit sporty, aren't you? And I know that you've recently got a different type of scholarship as well for drama. Do you want to tell us about that? That would be great.
Yes, that's right. I really enjoy my sports, and they're really crucial at SMA. I think it brings us all together, and it makes us. It's a part of the day where we all try our best and all give our most. You also mentioned drama. I think drama is a really important part. I think the one-to-one lessons that they give are really excellent, and they give us a chance not only to learn drama, but give us a chance to express like it gives you somebody to talk to as well. And if you do it with somebody else, it enriches your friendship with them.
That's fantastic. You've got something else to boast, haven't you, about your drama activities this year?
Yes, I recently finished an understudy role with Opera North, and that wouldn't have been possible without the support from the music department. They were so supportive and gave me that opportunity to do my best, and it was an amazing experience and one I will never forget.
That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you both for talking to us this morning. Mr. Dyer, do you have any questions for us?
Well, just two very quick questions. Henrietta, you spent a lot of your time in Hong Kong, is that right?
Yes, I live there.
Well, yeah, I mean, how did you find the transition from Hong Kong into Year 7 and Year 8? Was it tricky or was it okay?
It went really well. Within a week, I completely forgot that I was new. Felt like I had been there for a really long time. And when I went there, it was meant to be a temporary thing for maybe a term, and that was in Year 5. That was 3 years ago, and I went through SMA the entire time.
Okay, all right, that's tremendous. Well, we look forward to seeing you in September. Well done, you. And Finbar, I bet you can't wait for the lockdown to end so Opera North can start performing. And any chance of a ticket?
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you very much, Finbar. Well done, you. Thank you both. And thank you, Dr. Moses. Well, we're coming to the end of our hour. I'm afraid we've overrun a bit, but it's been great to hear the opinions of the students and to answer as many of the questions, your questions, as we can. And you've probably been hearing the questions come in as they go ping. A lot, I'm afraid, we haven't had time for. Many of you have booked appointments to speak to specific members of staff after this, so we'll pick up those questions and answer them in the call that we have with you. For those who haven't booked appointments, our house parents, members of the senior leadership team and staff from the admissions department will try to ring you in the next few hours or early next week to answer any questions that you do have. You can find admissions information on our website, and if you didn't manage to watch the video earlier this morning or would like to look around one of the houses, you'll find videos about the houses on the website too. Well, this has been a very popular event. We're holding another eOpen Day on Saturday, 4th of July. So if you have friends who would like to join us then, that would be great. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you with us this morning. We look forward to the conversations that will be ongoing as a result of this. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you're all well and coping with things. It's been great to see you. Thank you very much. Goodbye.